A simple act of kindness, the unexpected rewards of compassion. Have you ever made a decision based purely on kindness, without expecting anything in return, only for it to lead to something far greater than you could ever imagine? We've all been in situations where we had to make a choice between helping someone or walking away, whether it's lending a hand to a stranger in need or standing up for someone when no one else will. But how often do we actually get to see the ripple effects of our actions? Imagine this. You're a hardworking, compassionate individual, doing everything you can to survive and support your loved ones. You work in a high-pressure job, dealing with people who sometimes don't treat you well, yet you never lose sight of the importance of treating others with kindness. One day, a seemingly unimportant situation forces you to decide whether or not to help a man in need, someone who claims he can't pay for his meal at the restaurant where you work. Despite your own struggles, you step up, choosing to help him rather than let him face the consequences. This may sound like a simple moral story, but it's more than that. In reality, this choice could be the turning point in your life, a moment when you unknowingly plant the seed for future success, both in your personal and professional life. Just like in this story, where a seemingly trivial act of kindness changes the course of a waitress's life forever, we often don't know how the smallest actions can create ripples that spread far beyond our expectations. This is the story of Elaine, a hardworking waitress stuck in a difficult situation. Elaine is a kind-hearted woman with a strong sense of empathy, determined to help her family no matter what. But when we meet her, she is struggling. Her boss mistreats her, the work is exhausting, and she barely makes enough money to survive. She's caught in the everyday grind of working in a restaurant, but she has one thing many others don't: a genuine heart. One day, a man enters the restaurant, looking out of place. Dressed in old clothes and appearing disheveled, he orders the most expensive items on the menu. The staff is puzzled, but Elaine doesn't judge him like others might. Her boss, however, is more concerned with the man's appearance and orders. When the bill arrives, the man shocks Elaine by claiming he can't pay. But instead of getting upset or angry, Elaine calmly steps in, offering to pay for his meal with her own tip. This decision seems small, but it sets the stage for a shocking twist. The man, it turns out, isn't just a random person in need of a handout. He's a millionaire who once had everything but is now going through a rough patch. It's easy to dismiss acts of kindness as simple, but they carry much more weight than we realize. Elaine's decision to help a stranger, despite her own struggles, speaks volumes about her character. It's not just about paying for someone's meal. It's about the compassionate choices we make when no one is watching, about the humanity that still exists in a world often driven by greed and self-interest. But what happens when such a choice leads to a far more profound transformation? This story is about how kindness can open doors, but it also shows the darker side of life, the struggles we face when we're trying to do the right thing. Elaine's life isn't easy. Her boss belittles her, treats her unfairly, and takes advantage of her willingness to do the work no one else wants. She's stuck in a cycle of exploitation and frustration, yet she continues to push forward. This video is not just about the importance of kindness, it's about recognizing the value of integrity, even when the world around you doesn't appreciate it. As we dive deeper into Elaine's story, we witness the harsh realities she faces at work, the mistreatment by her boss, and the personal sacrifices she makes for the sake of her family. Yet, in the midst of it all, there's a shining light of hope, her unwavering belief in helping others. This belief, rooted in empathy and compassion, becomes the turning point in her journey. Little does she know that the universe will soon reward her for her actions, but not in the way she expects. But the story doesn't end here. The moment Elaine helped that man pay for his meal, she unknowingly set off a chain of events that would change the course of her life forever. What she doesn't know yet is that this act of kindness will lead to her being offered an extraordinary opportunity, a chance to leave behind the cruelty of her current job and enter a world of wealth and prosperity. It will also teach her an important lesson about the power of kindness, the value of hard work, and the surprising ways life can offer rewards to those who remain true to themselves. But what is the real reward here? Is it just the material success Elaine will gain? Or is it something deeper, something tied to her character and integrity? The millionaire who tests her is a reflection of the harsh realities many of us face when we make decisions driven by self-interest. He's a mirror to the values of wealth and status, and yet, his test of Elaine's kindness becomes a profound reflection of how good things can come when we least expect them. As we follow Elaine's journey, we witness how her character shapes the world around her. It's not just about paying for someone's meal, it's about how we treat others when no one is looking, how our small acts of goodness contribute to the world in ways we might never fully understand. Her story encourages us to act with compassion, even when the odds seem stacked against us, and to trust that our efforts will one day bear fruit. In the following parts, we'll take a closer look at how Elaine's kindness impacts her life, the shocking rewards she receives, and the valuable lessons we can all take from this touching story. It's not just about money, but about the things that really matter in life. Empathy, integrity, and the belief that doing good in the world will always come back to us one way or another. A test of character, Elaine's struggles, and the reward of compassion. Elaine's life has always been a struggle. Day after day, she serves customers in a high-end restaurant, doing everything she can to meet her responsibilities. But despite her hard work, it never seems to be enough. She works long hours, receiving barely enough to cover her living expenses, and her boss continues to treat her like nothing more than a tool for the restaurant's success. Yet, she maintains an unwavering belief that kindness and empathy are more important than wealth or status. Elaine doesn't expect recognition for her good deeds. She simply believes in doing the right thing, even when others might not. A glimpse into Elaine's life. At first glance, Elaine's job seems like any other waitress job, but it's anything but ordinary. The restaurant is a place where wealthy people come to dine, flaunting their affluence, while the staff, Elaine included, are often treated as nothing more than invisible workers, there to cater to every whim. It's a high-pressure environment where mistakes aren't tolerated and personal struggles are ignored. Elaine has a good heart, but life has been hard. Her mother is ill and can't afford the medication she needs, and Elaine does everything she can to keep up with the hospital bills. She's stuck in a cycle of exhaustion, stress, and frustration, trying to balance her own well-being with the needs of her family. But through it all, Elaine continues to show up for work every day. Despite being overworked and undervalued, she remains committed to doing her job with dignity. Elaine's personal struggles are evident in her quiet moments. She watches her colleagues complain about their own issues, and while she feels the same stress, she rarely speaks up. She has her own battle: her mother's health, the unpaid bills, the feeling that she's never quite doing enough. But none of that stops her from showing kindness to others. This is where her story takes a turning point. The test begins. One fateful day, a man enters the restaurant dressed in worn-out clothes and carrying a worn-down attitude. He orders a lavish meal, picking the most expensive items on the menu. As the bill arrives, he suddenly claims that he has no money to pay for the meal. This is where most people would simply walk away or call security, but not Elaine. Instead, she is taken aback by his admission but refuses to let him be humiliated. She steps in and offers to help him by paying the bill herself. Elaine doesn't have the money to spare, but she understands the impact of helping someone when they are at their lowest. Her kindness isn't born out of obligation, but from a genuine place of empathy. Elaine has no idea that this simple act will set in motion a chain of events that will change her life forever. The man, whose situation seems to have gone from bad to worse, explains that he has fallen on hard times. He had once been wealthy, owning a company and dining at restaurants like this with ease. But now, his circumstances have drastically changed, and he can no longer afford even a simple meal. Elaine listens patiently as he shares his story. Her heart aches for him, but she continues to act with compassion. The boss's reaction. When Elaine's boss discovers that she paid for the man's meal, he doesn't praise her for her act of kindness. Instead, he reacts with anger, criticizing her for helping someone he considers beneath her. He belittles her for talking to the man at all, calling him a dirty, smelly guy, and demanding that she never interact with people like him again. Elaine is shocked by his cruelty, but her demeanor remains calm. Her actions, driven by empathy, go unnoticed by the very people who should understand her situation the most. Elaine's situation becomes even more difficult as her boss continues to exploit her. He assigns her extra work, telling her to clean the bathrooms and the tables while others do nothing. Elaine's frustration builds, but she grits her teeth and does the work because she has no other option. She knows her mother is counting on her, and she can't afford to lose her job, no matter how demeaning it becomes. This is where the contrast in the story starts to become clear. While her boss sees people like the man she helped as beneath him, Elaine understands that humanity isn't defined by wealth or status. She sees everyone as deserving of kindness and respect, regardless of their circumstances. Elaine's sacrifice and a life-changing offer. Despite her growing frustration with the way she's treated, Elaine never once regrets helping the man. Her heart remains pure, and as fate would have it, the man, who is, in reality, a millionaire businessman, returns to the restaurant with his sister. He thanks Elaine for her kindness, explaining that he was testing her character to see if she would truly be as compassionate as she appeared. His story, about losing everything, including his wealth, is a humbling moment for both Elaine and the viewers. In a twist, the man rewards Elaine for her actions by offering her money. But, just as she did before, Elaine hesitates. She doesn't need money to do the right thing. She did it out of a sense of duty and compassion, not expectation. The millionaire insists, explaining that he wants to help her because she has helped him without any selfish motive. At this point, Elaine has no idea how this small act of kindness will soon lead to an even greater reward. Later, when the man offers Elaine a managerial position in his international restaurant network, she is overwhelmed. He tells her that he had visited every restaurant in the city and that only she stood out because of her good heart and empathy. This moment of recognition is life-changing, but it also illustrates how Elaine's kindness has transcended her role as a mere waitress. Her actions have led her to a better future, not just for herself but for her family as well. The reward of goodness. Elaine's story is a reminder that doing good doesn't always lead to immediate rewards, but when it does, it can be far more than we ever expected. The rewards she receives are not only financial but also a recognition of her character and her spirit. The millionaire's offer to make her the new manager of his restaurant is not just about giving her a job. It's about giving her the opportunity to escape a life of hardship and exploitation and step into a world of opportunity. What's most remarkable about Elaine is that she never wavers in her belief that kindness should be freely given. Despite the odds stacked against her, she continues to show up every day with a sense of purpose and compassion. Her story is a powerful example of how small acts of goodness can lead to life-changing opportunities, even when it seems like the world is against you. The final reward, a new beginning and the power of character. Elaine's life, as we've seen so far, has been one of struggle, hardship, and sacrifice. But as the story progresses, it becomes clear that her character and the kindness she displayed, despite her own personal challenges, were the keys to unlocking a completely new future for her. The events that unfolded after her selfless act of paying for the millionaire's meal were nothing short of transformative. The day she decided to help a man she didn't know, without expecting anything in return, was the day that set her on the path to something far greater. She had no idea that her simple decision would bring so much change. But as we know, good deeds often come back to us in ways we can't anticipate. The millionaire's true identity. After Elaine helped the man in the restaurant, she was unaware of his true identity. At first, he appeared to be a humble, struggling individual down on his luck. He ordered the most expensive dishes, which seemed out of place given his apparent financial struggles. But the key to understanding this situation lies in the fact that he was testing Elaine's character all along. When the millionaire returned to the restaurant, he brought with him a sense of gratitude, which turned into an offer that would forever change Elaine's life. The man revealed his true identity as a successful businessman with international restaurant chains. He explained that he had once had everything: wealth, success, and freedom, but lost it all. Despite his fall from grace, he never lost sight of the qualities that mattered most to him: humanity, compassion, and kindness. As he talked to Elaine, he made a profound realization. The reason he returned to the restaurant, and the reason he was so eager to reward her, was because of how she had treated him when no one else would. In his mind, she wasn't just a waitress. She was a symbol of the goodness and empathy that he had lost touch with during his years of success. A new opportunity. The millionaire, who was testing Elaine all along, offered her a life-changing opportunity. A managerial position in one of his international restaurants. Elaine, stunned by the offer, initially hesitated, unsure of her ability to step into such a big role. However, the man reassured her, emphasizing that she had shown the type of character that was not only rare but highly valued in the business world. Elaine's story is a powerful example of how life can reward those who maintain their integrity and compassion, even when they face adversity. Her character stood out to the millionaire because, despite her difficult circumstances, she treated everyone with respect and empathy, whether they were wealthy or struggling. This is the essence of her reward. It wasn't just about the job offer. It was about being recognized for the person she was. Elaine's new job wasn't handed to her because of a connection, nor was it the result of any personal favors. It was the result of her own actions, her own commitment to kindness and the selfless way she interacted with others, even when she had little to give. The millionaire, who had initially come to the restaurant with the intention of testing her, was now offering her a chance to build a future she never dreamed of. Elaine's growth and transformation. Elaine's transformation from a struggling waitress to the manager of a high-end restaurant network isn't just about her career. It's about her growth as a person. Her journey isn't just about making money or gaining status. It's about learning to value herself and her abilities, and realizing that her kindness is her greatest strength. When Elaine first accepted the offer to become a manager, she felt a sense of disbelief. For so long, she had been treated as less than by her boss, by customers, by society. But now, Elaine was the one in control. She was being given an opportunity to rise, to take charge of her future and her career, all because she had shown that she was willing to do the right thing even when it seemed like no one was watching. Her success wasn't a fluke. It was earned. But it wasn't just about the money or the job. Elaine was rewarded because of her heart. The millionaire's decision to offer her the position wasn't just a business move. It was a recognition of the kind of person she was. She hadn't tried to impress anyone. She had simply acted in the best way she knew how. And that act of kindness brought her the biggest reward of all. The final confrontation. Elaine's boss. While Elaine's life was changing for the better, her boss was still stuck in his narrow, prejudiced views of who deserved respect and who didn't. Throughout the story, he had treated Elaine poorly, exploited her, and belittled her for helping people who he considered beneath her. But when Elaine's story became known to the millionaire, the power dynamics shifted dramatically. In a final confrontation, the millionaire stood up to Elaine's boss. The contrast between the two was stark. The millionaire was not interested in controlling people or exploiting them for his own benefit. He was interested in empowering others and recognizing their worth. On the other hand, Elaine's boss was driven by money, power, and status. He dismissed Elaine's worth as a person, treating her as nothing more than a servant. In a moment that served as both a personal and professional victory, the millionaire made it clear to Elaine's boss that his treatment of her was unacceptable. He offered Elaine the opportunity to leave that toxic environment behind, and it was clear that Elaine's future was no longer tied to the oppressive restaurant she had worked in for so long. A new chapter begins. With the offer of a new career, Elaine stepped into a new chapter of her life. She was no longer a waitress in a harsh and demeaning environment. She was now in a position of authority, respected for her integrity and her empathy. But more importantly, Elaine's story highlights the power of kindness and the profound impact it can have on both the person giving and receiving it. Elaine's journey from struggle to success wasn't about the paycheck. It was about her personal growth and transformation. Her kindness was her greatest asset. By staying true to herself and refusing to compromise her values, she became a beacon of hope for those around her. Her story serves as a reminder that doing good in the world can lead to extraordinary things, even when we don't expect it. The video concludes by emphasizing the core message: good deeds bring great things. It's a reminder that even when things seem tough, kindness is a power that should never be underestimated. A new beginning and the power of character. In this final part of the video, Elaine's transformation reaches its peak. The life-changing opportunity she receives is a result of the kindness she displayed when no one was looking. Her journey teaches us the importance of acting with compassion and integrity, and shows us how such actions can lead to unexpected rewards that change our lives for the better. Elaine's story encourages viewers to reflect on their own actions, to recognize the power of kindness, and to trust that doing the right thing, even in the most difficult circumstances, can lead to amazing transformations. If you were inspired by Elaine's story and the incredible rewards that come from kindness and integrity, don't forget to like this video. Share it with your friends to spread the message that doing good really does make a difference. And for more heartwarming stories, life-changing moments, and inspiring content, be sure to subscribe to our channel. You won't want to miss what we have coming next, because kindness is contagious, and we're here to share it with the world. Thanks for watching, and remember, good deeds always come back to you. See you in the next video.